My England debut came as I turned to booze and drugs to block out the past. At Tottenham, I wasn't hooked on coke straight away. But it soon became a big part of a night out, often in combination with ecstasy. Even when I met up with England for my debut, I had been out drinking all day. I got to Bisham Abbey to meet with the full squad for the first time, and went straight to the hotel bar. We were not training, but I thought nothing of going down for a drink with a few of the other lads. I was not alone by any means, yet I look back now and think, was that right? What was I on? I had 3 games to prove myself. Graham Taylor was a fair boss, for all the stick he got later on, and gave me my first full cap. The late Graham Taylor made Stewart's lifelong goal a reality. Image Halton Archive. Getty. It was a boyhood dream. It felt like I had made it, running out against West Germany at the old Wembley on September 11, 1991. A few days earlier, the back pages had reported my new contract with Spurs. It allowed me to spend more time at home and to commute to training during the week. The new deal put an end to a potential big money move back to Manchester City. I was very proud to win that first England cap. I later played away in Russia and Poland. The debut just felt special as my family watched from the stands. It was over in a flash. The 66th minute came and my number went up on the board along with Paul Merson, the Arsenal midfielder, also making his debut, and battling demons of his own, as it turned out. The Germans were still such a good side. It was hard to get anywhere near the ball. I got booked after elbowing Lothar Matthaus, their captain, a debut claim to fame. They won 10. Stewart made his mark that night on Matthaus, and in the ref's notebook. Image Reuters. It was a very rude awakening to life at the very top on the international stage, even after all the glory of our cup final run, and the semi and final at Wembley the season before. The Germans were simply world-class. My dad Bert, Uncle Brian and brother Anthony were in the 80,000 crowd, bursting with pride. I was lucky enough to gain England honours at every senior level. I came on against Scotland for England youth, then played for the under-21s, and a B team before the full caps. Yet playing for England did have its downsides. You were told when to sleep, when to eat, when to turn up for dinner. It was all so regimented, and I am sure some players thought, here we go again. Ex-Southampton boss Laurie McMenemy was appointed as assistant manager to Taylor in July 1990, after Bobby Robson's tenure as boss came to an end. All he seemed to be bothered about was whether your room was tidy. I felt we were being treated like schoolboys. Paul Stewart's book, Damaged, goes on sale this week. Image and East Ending Daily Mirror. As that England season progressed, the drink and drugs started to play more and more of a role in my life. I just never seemed to consider how things looked. By that time, I was drinking heavily between games. I had also started to take drugs, and was making excuses about not going home to Blackpool as I battled the demons, the memories of childhood abuse. Many a weekend in London turned into a lost weekend. Once the match was out of the way, free time followed a pattern. If we were away, there would be the full a la carte service on the Spurs 5-star team bus. You got a selection of wine with a meal, then the Holsten pills came out. No wonder Spurs got the Champagne Charlie and Southern Softies tag whenever they went up north. Extract 1 drugs, booze and Graham Souness wrecked dream. Liverpool moved. There was often a few beers in and around Hampstead, as many of the lads, including my big mate Steve Sedgley, liked the bars around there. Then we'd head into central London, the Bright Lights, a club, maybe a rave. We would be making plans to go on the lash even as we hit the motorway on the way back from away matches. Paul Walsh knew people all over the capital, and he was often ready for a big night before we got off the bus. I was never far behind. We would go to Brown's, an exclusive club. We got in because we were footballers. There would be faces you recognized from TV, film, music and sport. Nigel Benn was seen in the bar used by players and directors at White Hart Lane. The cast of EastEnders were regulars. Stewart got to hang out with George Michael and Elton John as a Spurs player. Image Getty, which was a bit different to what went on at previous club Manchester City. Image Daily Record. Extract 2 Me, my hilarious old mate Gazza, and an ostrich named Sedgley. There is more razzmatazz playing for Spurs. It may have had something to do with Terry Venables. He loved to mix with actors crooning at his club. Scribes was his guilty secret. One night we were chatting to Elton John, George Michael, the singers Pepsi and Shirley, and a woman I did not recognize, who turned out to be Petula Clark. It was quite a night, standing next to George and asking him about his latest album with Elton at the Browns bar. I wish I could remember what we said. Rod Stewart and his then-wife Rachel Hunt were also in there once. When I was at Manchester City, you were more likely to bump into Little Large. Paul Stewart. Damaged from Trinity Mirror Sport Media, on sale September 7th at Amazon, sportmediashop.com and all good bookshops. Ebook also available.